Mm. Wow. Right.
It's so cool. Like everyone likes us again. Like we did basketball and everyone's just like, oh, no.
Now, first off, welcome back. Good to see you guys again. You have been reborn,
Yeah.
like the phoenix, rising from the desert. I went to see South Park the other night, and I was telling you in the back room, I don't know who's seen it, but that's the most subversive, crazy, fucked up, weird film I've and I must admit, in the theater I saw, people were just crying because even the hardcores who didn't want to like it. And there was an older couple in front of me that I think they thought they had stumbled into like a Pat Boone County Fair movie or something, and like they, you could see they were. I was catching his light like glowing in the screen, and he kind of looked like he had made a horrible mistake, and then it started beating him down. It was just like Paris Island or something. And at the end, he's going crazy. It was now Over Satan's Bed. Is that Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing in the movie. I'm going, who is that? Is that the kid Skeet Ulrich I always see in Details magazine?
There's a lot of people pissed off at us from this movie.
Why Skeet Ulrich?
Winona Ryder is really pissed off.
Winona Ryder's pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, did one of you boys ask her out and she said no? Or what was that about?
No, it wasn't. I don't know why. We just were sitting around. I was like, what about a vaginal ping pong ball thing? And Trey's like, Winona Ryder. And we're like,
Yeah,
that fits. That's good. It's kind of like it's just kind of like whatever you blurt out first is kind of what always sticks.
Yeah.
And you know what I find the funniest is how well, I'm sure you pay more attention than it appears, but how little attention you pay to the animation just cracks me up. Like Terrence and Phillip, they're just like little. What are they?
Yeah, well, it's just like, Terrence and Phillip was actually, we sort of invented that because when South Park first came out and all the reviews were coming out saying, this is the worst animation and nothing but fart jokes. And we were like, no. And then we created Terrence and Phillip. We're like, this is the worst animation and all fart jokes. So.
Oh, yeah. No.
Now Saddam Hussein's cock. That was so.
He has a huge cock.
It was so stunning to me. It was such a big, crimson, angry cock.
Yeah.
It looked like it had been clipped out of.
It looked like you could just get smacked with it.
Well,
it wasn't drawn, wasn't it?
No, we cut it out of an X-rated magazine.
I wanted to use mine, but no one would let me. They thought that was weird.
We tried so many cocks too.
They're operating in Panavision.
Yeah.
No, so that's what I said to my wife. I said, imagine them sitting there with that jeweler's loop on, like going over.
Yeah, we'd watch
pictures.
people with Paramount, we'd sit there and go, is the cock big enough? Let's try another cock. We'd go back the next week.
That was the scene we put in the movie for the MPAA to cut out.
Yeah, because everyone said put in one scene for them to cut out.
Then they'll kind of like not notice all the cocksuckers and fucking and all that other shit. You put this one scene, and then that's the one they feel like they've cut out something. And they came back and they were like, "It's okay, just make sure it's a dildo and it's not real."
They were like, "Take out that rim job line."
Yeah,
but Saddam Hussein whipping his dick around was okay.
That's fine.
It's like, we're so excited we got to have a cock in the movie.
Now, do you think anybody goes into Saddam Hussein's office and say, "Hey, you're in a flick"?
We're somewhere he gets to see this movie, and it's like
he's going to be so baffled by why the Americans are doing this.
Now, the film is. It is subversive and it's insane, but it was very clever in a way because it points out the ludicrousness of how you can slaughter as many people. And I know this off the subject, we'll get to that, but you really can't slaughter, but you can't show things like people.
No, and that's why we made it all about war, and we wanted everything to get to war at the end so that we could just do the most violent, horrific, Saving Private Ryan war shots, knowing that the MPA was not going to say a thing about those, and they didn't.
They never said a thing, right?
There's like people, blood, and death everywhere.
Take out rim job.
Yeah, take out rim job.
And yet they're catching a lot of heat this weekend. I suppose you've read because of the
Kubrick.
Evidently, they had to do some computer generated.
That's what's so scary about it is that we're in the one country in the world that had to change Kubrick's film.
They're saving us from Kubrick.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently it's comical. Like it is people, a plant put right where a guy's penis is and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's really depressing.
No, that's our goal is to bring down the MPAA somehow, some way. It may take us a few years, but.
All right. Now, what about
What about self-promotion? Now, you guys seem to have such exquisitely fine-tuned bullshit barometers that I can't imagine when you had to immerse yourself in the self-flagellation of promoting yourself
Right.
that did you hate yourself on some level when you first had to do it, or were you comfy about doing it?
I think it was just so funny to us, and seeing the world, we didn't grow up in this town or anything. And so doing like the Tonight Show for the first time and having them come in and go, here's the questions, here's your answers. Here's what Jay's going to ask you and here's what you're going to tell him.
Yeah.
And then going through the whole thing and seeing all these things for the first time was really just like, oh, they do it this way, and it.
Yeah, my conception was a reporter. I always thought a reporter was the guy who worked down in his trunk and had the hat on, and like, ran down Tom Cruise and found him and got him to answer some questions.
Yeah.
And then to go into these like press junkets where it's like, you have a reporter every 6 minutes.
You sit in a room. Yeah, you sit in a room.
I know, I've done a
of
couple
course,
of those. It's just brutal.
And it's just a different reporter every 5 minutes, and they come in and ask you the same question.
And
you act like,
it's the first time you've ever heard it, and it's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, it's a mind fucker because it's so disillusioning at first, and then you're sitting there going, fuck, I'm part of this,
Yeah.
Yeah, but isn't there a purity to it at some point? I find the purity of the marketplace absolves you a lot of sins. I mean, you're out to make money at some point. I mean, it's nice that you have an idea. It's a brilliantly funny idea. You want people to see it, and that translates to $7 a head.
Yeah.
And when I get in those things, I always hear about these people bitch and moan and whine about how they're whoring themselves. Who the fuck asked you to come into the marketplace if you weren't going to be a whore?
Right, yeah.
That's why we do it, is to support the show.
This person has 6 minutes. They want you to sell the soap. Right. I used to love the purity of it. After a while, I'd wear it down and I'd go, yeah, shut up, sell it. You're in it.
I mean, it still gets you, yeah, but you have to get to that point. You have to go through you have to realize that. And I don't think until you go through it enough. Like, we're just starting to realize that now. But for the first couple of years, we were like, we're just little anarchists at heart. I mean, we just were like so.
Yeah, but
like,
after basketball, quite frankly, you were an iconoclast who might have felt, listen, I don't care who you are, how anarchistic you are in this business. When you're out of the loop, it feels weird.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You're full of shit. And not you, but people who tell me,
Yeah, no,
I don't
understand.
mind
Makes
it.
sense, yeah.
I always think you're full of shit. It always feels more comfy to be in the
Right.
loop. Isn't it better after this one? What's this at, 40 mil? Or?
Yeah, but what's so amazing was that everyone was already writing about the death of South Park before the movie came out, and you could see everyone being so poised to take us down and
so
waiting for this
ready.
movie to kill it all. And we were reading articles, about it that was just like, yeah, it used to be cool, and now they're not, and we were just kind of like, well, what happened? And then the movie came out, and all of a sudden we're back in again, and it does feel better, but.
And most of the we got the reviews, from the day the movie came out, we get all the reviews from all around the country and read them. We got like 95% good reviews. It was great. It was like really, kind of validated our whole thing. But you could see so many of the reviewers grudgingly gave it a good review.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
like,
well,
I kind of liked it, I guess.
They were like this. They're like, this is the funniest movie I've ever seen. I laughed so hard. 1 star. And
Well, see, the brilliant chess move is steering into the skid. I mean, instead of making it more accessible and trying to pander and suck up to people with a piece of watered down shit, you made it like so repugnant and funny and
Thank you.
completely. I dare you not to laugh at this, you fucking twit.
Well,
that,
we fought with Paramount so hard because they wanted us to make a PG-13 movie and they showed us literally charts and graphs about how much more money a PG-13 movie would make, and we were just like, we're not interested. We need to take it to the next level, or else then we really are sellouts.
Right, you would have got killed.
And
I mean, it was a savvy move.
absolutely.
I don't know if you knew it was that savvy, but you would have got strung up if you tried to make it.
No, we knew we would have.
Now, we've got a phone call for you, line 7, Gary from Huntsville, Alabama. Gary.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, did you see South Park?
I'm going to go see it tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah, right.
sure.
You're going to see
Yeah.
American Pie.
Hey, Dennis, I haven't talked to you since Tom Hanks, man. Remember that? See, I'm self-promoting myself.
All right, yeah.
Check it out.
So bad.
Commercial's over. Line 6, we've got Howie from Brooklyn, New York.
Oh,
Howie.
how are you, Dennis?
I got to
are you,
learn a new
Dennis?
trick. All I do is cut people off anymore, huh?
Well, don't cut me off yet. How
No,
are you,
Howie, we
Dennis?
love you. What do you got?
I want to know, how long must we hear about Hillary Clinton promoting herself all across this state until she finally makes the commitment to run for the Senate race?
Yeah, well, you watch her at this press conference. She has that panicked, like, deer in the headlight look, hoping they don't ask her something rough like, what's the capital of our state? She always looks
What
completely
does the Federal
panicked.
Reserve Board do?
Well, I don't know. Listen, if New Yorkers are I've never really thought of New Yorkers as gullible, but if they put her in just to be star fuckers, that's their
they deserve
mistake
her.
at some point, Now, do you think is your theory that anybody can be famous if the PR is right? Do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Or?
We were talking about this, and the best example we could think of was Ricky Martin. Because and that's because
You don't see any. I think the kid's talented. He's
but
cool looking kid.
the thing is, the first time we saw him, I'm like a huge Les Miserables fan, right? So like 3 years ago, I dragged Matt hates Broadway, hates the
That's
whole
what the
thing.
heavy
So,
Les Mis.
oh yeah,
homage was.
absolutely, yeah. So I'm dragging Matt
Are you
into
a
it.
fan? Let me ask you quick. Are you a fan of Les Mis for Les Mis, or are you a fan of Les Mis for the kitsch of Les Mis? I mean, are you emotional when they're?
He really is a fan.
I cry.
He cries.
See, when
yeah.
I tell you, you peel back the avocado on these poison fuckers, and they are soft underneath. Yeah. They're up on the terrapins, the
He
little
loves it.
girl
He
screaming,
loves it.
I want a fish head and some bread, and you're crying, right?
I totally cry every time. I can't. But I drag him there, and apparently Ricky Martin was playing Marius, and we didn't know who he was at the time.
I'd never been to a musical anything.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about that stuff.
And so we're watching it, and I could see that Matt's getting into it, and so I'm feeling good. I'm like,
wasn't
see,
crying.
he does like, he didn't cry, but all we knew was that the guy
Which
who played
one's
Marius,
the girl?
yeah, Marius was on General Hospital. That's all we knew. And so, and so Matt leans over to me halfway through the second, and he goes, "That dude fucking sucks."
I didn't know anything. I never done anything, but I was like, that guy, Ricky Martin.
And
so
when-
bad.
And he in the cast of real singers and real performers, he stood out so bad.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But
It ruined Les Mis for him, and I hate him
The
for it.
Revolution Loca. All right. He always does that stiff leg thing.
Yeah,
That's my
it's just like,
favorite
come
one. Huh? All right, guys. Is there going to be a South Park 3?
Yeah.
I don't even know where you go with it.
I don't know
it
either.
is.
I mean, we still love doing the TV show, so we'll just keep doing that.
Well, trust me, when you go to do South Park 3, I want you to tie a piece of string to the door because